part of what you said at the opening of your podcast, and even in, I guess, the release that went out with it, with your message, which I read, I was so thoughtful, is that there's a paradigm shift. What, explain that? That word is it's a big word.
It's a big word, but also it's a word
Use
that
a lot of big words.
Sorry, Pete, I'm a nerd. You know I'm a nerd. What do you expect? Um, I love where you're starting with this conversation, right? And so before we get into paradigm and what is a paradigm, and I'm going to be an ultra nerd, and I'm even going to take us to the Greek word that it comes from, because I feel like it's a word we throw around in advocacy spaces a lot, and
Yeah.
people don't really know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, I want to share some words that maybe are the right place to start this conversation. They're not my words; they're words from a poet and an activist who is incredible and brilliant, and is really a modern day oracle. Her name is Sonia Renee Taylor, and I would encourage and invite anyone to go check her out if you're not familiar with her work. I'm going to share her words, which came early in the pandemic and which have really been ringing in my ears a lot lately, in particular, actually, because a dear friend of mine, Rebecca Coakley, shared them with me again on a panel we were both on recently. I'm sharing them now because they really feel like the call to action that we need to keep close in this moment. Sonia Renee Taylor says, we will not go back to normal. Normal never was. Our pre-corona existence was not normal. Other than that, we normalized greed, inequity, exhaustion, depletion, extraction, disconnection, confusion, rage, hoarding, hate, and lack. She says, we should not long to return, my friends. We are being given the opportunity to stitch a new garment, one that fits all of humanity and nature. And so I'm going to pause there just because I find those words to be the medicine in many ways that we all need in this moment, and frankly a kick in the butt not to just keep doing things the way we've been doing them and saying, oh man, when return to normal is happening, or oh hey, things feel like they're getting back to normal, right? This is not that moment. That is not what taking this moment as an invitation, as frankly, residents of Earth at a time that, as a mentor of mine said recently to me, feels like either an affliction or an assignment to live in this moment in human history. That's not the move, right? The move is to say, okay, what time is it on the clock of the world, as Grace Lee Boggs would put it? And how can we all do our part in visioning and shaping our collective future? That's the assignment for people who choose to take this moment and say, okay, that's the lane I want to be in, as opposed to saying, wow, this is an affliction to live now.